Hello, I'd like to welcome everybody to the wonderful NLP for the 21st century using NLP and technology. This is Dr. Will Horton, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with this call. It's going to be rather fast, so let's just jump in and get started. So secret steps to NLP mastery in general. What would happen if you could master NLP in a few easy steps? If you knew the biological basis of how and why NLP works, and then applied this to technology. Now, it's no secret that most people never take their skills beyond a base level. Most jump in, but they never really learn to elite level skills. And very few people know the reasons why it works at the fundamental level, like the biological level. I would argue, yes, even some of the founders, because a lot of this wasn't known at the time. And they're not in that field. So why is it people don't jump in, take their skills generally to the next level? Well, first of all, there's a lack of clear goals in learning. Secondly, there's a lack of correct information. What happens is some of the myths that have been disproven become worked into the vernacular and become part of it. You know, it's like the whole thing about 50% of your conversation is, nonverbal. Well, that's not true. It was a research done that was taken out of context that got repeated and repeated, especially in the NLP and the hypnosis community, and becomes a fact in that community when in fact it's really not true. And then, of course, there's a lack of good teaching of the new information. Because what happens, I call it the shiny toy syndrome. You know, people take NLP today, they love it, it's the most cool thing in the world, it's all they want to do. You run into them in 6 months. Yeah, you like the NLP, but now I'm into EFT, or now I'm into EMDR, yada, yada, yada. So they constantly get distracted, right? Now, what happens with applying this to technology? Most don't know how to incorporate NLP into technology because they assume the old models still apply. They really don't. Not totally. You have to kind of tweak it. And it's not based on current new applications. Now, most of this can be traced back to bad or ineffective trainers. It's theory-based training on old information. So there's no real-world experience. The trainers that kind of really morph and grow are the people that not just do the training, but they also have like practices. They're really doing it in the real world. Because once you begin to apply it to the real world, it morphs out and you really see what works, what doesn't work. It changes how you look at things. Then you also have not understanding the current research, if they even know some of the current research. So again, that's why some of those old myths keep getting replied and re-replied and blah, 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 right? And then it's also, then they have no useful applications from the start. I mean, a technique, I saw one and it sounded good in theory, but when you got into it, just to do the intake was almost 2 hours, right? And I'm sitting there going, basically the intervention would be very short. But if you're a true practitioner, how useful is that? It's really not, right? And then, of course, it's not only not current, but then some people can't really transfer the information to their students. So why it doesn't work at a general level and then for technology. It's not understanding NLP, not understanding the metaphor application, not understanding conscious subconscious teaching, not using NLP covertly. Not understanding how to do it. Not using NLP to teach NLP. No real world applications. So they don't really understand the covert techniques. And of course, some people withhold information, constantly promising you that the solution's just around the corner. So more on why it failed. Generally, people are becoming more knowledgeable. That's true. But then what happens, NLP people and hypnosis people assume others know what we know. So then they try to be covert, sneaky about stuff. I call it not being blatant, and that's going to fail. Be blatant. The chances of someone knowing what you're doing are remote, right? And again, also too, not having a clear outcome and do not know how to apply it in real world things. And then what really this boils down to is hypnotic language. Do you really understand hypnotic language? Not just supposedly Ericksonian. I'm not a big fan of that per se, right? But it's understanding the hypnotic language patterns, how they work, personal transwords, how to really use analog marking, embedded commands, the more techniques, all these things, right? And then, of course, true pacing and timing. Because you really have to understand story and metaphor. You have to understand the basis of metaphor creation. Because metaphor and story are easy to covertly use in NLP. And you can put this into your technology. You know, it's NLP and story formats easy to do, right? So here's a quick thing. And you can do this with technology. And I'll show you how in a minute. But with split consciousness, look at your hands. Now look at the screen and pay attention to your hands. That's right. Look at the screen and put your conscious mind on your hands. Now, as you're looking at the screen, focusing on your hands, you begin to notice that one hand becomes tingly. The hand that becomes tingly might wiggle the finger slightly, and it might be your left hand. Of course, it could be your right hand. It doesn't really matter. So keep focusing on your hands as you pay attention to me. Now focus on me and pay attention to your hands. Now, isn't that cool that you begin to notice these things? So what happens is you keep their conscious mind busy. Look at the screen, pay attention to your hands, or look at your hands and pay attention to the screen. Listen to my voice as you do this. It's kind of just basic hypnosis, but most people don't understand what's really happening. You're splitting the conscious and the subconscious mind. Now, visual works best if you can have them like look at the screen. If I had the application up to videotape myself if I was doing this, I'd say, look at me as you pay attention to your hands. Now look at your hands, pay attention to me, and have them flip back and forth. Because most people will watch and do what you're telling them to do visually and not pay close attention to what is said. Now, this is very applicable to technology because, you know, especially you're doing a voiceover, make sure that, you know, as they're looking at you, if you throw up some kind of, you know, a PowerPoint or something that they're looking at it. They're not really paying attention that much to what you're saying. So then you can embed a lot of what you want. Now, the secret is to keep their conscious mind busy at that level, right? Now, this really works on the hierarchy of thought, the HOT model. I call it HOT NLP and HOT hypnosis, right? The first level of thought is you're like, I'm angry. You're in the experience. But then if you pull back, I'm having the thought I'm angry. Now you've disassociated to one level. This is what happens with a lot of NLP techniques, hypnosis technique, even cognitive change work, is you pull back and you're thinking about it, right? The experience, because most people can't think about the experience and experience it. Great. And if you change how you think about the experience, if you step back into the experience, that will change it. Now you go to the highest level, third order, is I notice I'm having the thought I'm angry. So you're double disassociated. Those of us that understand NLP automatically think of like the fast phobia technique where you're double disassociated. But actually, theater of the mind, where you're looking through things like that. You would go to disassociate and double disassociate, step back in. But if you totally disassociate out, change like the movie, change the experience, change how you're thinking about it, then step back into the experience, the way your neurology works, it will change your experience. So this is how you use it in text, right? You highlight the areas you want the subconscious to notice. And you can use color, font, italics, size, things like this, right? And again, you could be blatant, right? So one thing you could do is follow the internet guys, some of the cutting edge. Now, that's hard to do because by the time it gets out, it's already starting to get old. You know, it's kind of like buying a computer. By the time we buy it, it's not cutting edge. But instead of bashing the models that some of the internet guys use, you know, model what they do, see what's working. You know, those of us that kind of follow it, and we've all been exposed to it. First, it was long copy. And I say, like, go to my alcohol and addiction solution site. There's a lot of long copy, right? Then it moved to like a video talking head with some of the long copy underneath it, right? I haven't applied that because I want to jump a level, which I'll talk to in a minute, right? And then you have webinars with voice only like this one. Then you can have webinars with video, right? And then you can combine video and long text. I mean, all these things, these are what the internet guys are doing, right? So here's how you would do it. And if you were writing out text, yeah, right? Be conscious of moving the target in and out of states of consciousness because you move them from experience into thinking back into thinking. having a goal of what do you want them to do. Sign should be obvious to you, but they will not notice. They will be up in conscious thought. Now you begin to notice the pattern. Even if they do, who cares? Moving experience back into do, sign up now. Do sign up now, right? So if you trust me, if people just glanced at it, their subconscious mind is going to pick up hot moving experience. Do sign up now, right? Which is cool, right? Will it work? It will help, right? But if this is in the way this would work brilliantly is if this is up there and you talk about moving people out of it, you don't really walk them through that experience as you're kind of talking over it, but you're not being, let their subconscious mind look at this page as you talk about, it's kind of like when like if you think of somebody you like and you notice where they're at in your mind's eye, and then you think of somebody you don't like and where they're at in your mind's eye, if you try to move that person you don't like to the person you like, your brain will say, no, it doesn't feel right. Because that's moving the experience, right? So they're kind of listening to you and they're looking at this. Their mind can't track all this, right? But you want to have a moving experience and sign up now, if that's what I want you to do. So how to master NLP and technology. First, the first step is know you want to learn more. And then here's the fun part. Experience failure as a learning experience. Last week, I tried to do this technology twice, right? My technology failed. I had an internet glitch on one computer. It wouldn't work. I went to another computer. It went down halfway through. Then I tried to restart it when no one was on the call. It's kind of funny. And then right in the middle of it, the phones rang. I forgot to take the phones off, which got me off track. Then the technology was working. I got out of kilter. Well, that was a learning experience. I just redid it. That's what I'm doing now, right? And then again, know that there is no one correct technique. This is what NLP people, hypnotists have a tendency to fall into in general, thinking, well, I have this client. What's the technique that'll work? Well, the answer is there's probably many. There's no one correct technique for any situation. There's several techniques that would work. And the true secret is just do it. Start playing with it. Start doing that, right? And then have fun with it, right? Now, the secret aspect is you have to learn covert or conversational hypnosis. If you know and learn covert conversational hypnosis and you add that to your NLP skill set, you'll be jumping to the next level, and then constantly take training on the newer aspects of NLP. Next year, this is November of 2014, in January, I'm doing an all-new basic and master 1 week from, soup to nuts, as they say, 7 straight days with all the new stuff, some of the new techniques, research, fun stuff. It's morphed, it's changed, Then also another aspect is always have a clear call to action. If you're going to applicate this into your technology, you've got to have a clear call to action. What do you want them to do? Sign up for a, what do they call it in the internet world? Buy or die technology. It's like you need to have them do something, right? Whatever that call to action is. Sign up for the easy. Give me your email address. Go to the next step. Watch this video. Then after this, you go to that. You need a clear call to action. Things like sign up now. Call 941-408-8551 or email drwillhorton@gmail.com. That's a clear call to action. You're asking them to do something, right? So, and then you got to give them a choice, and I always throw this one out. You need, and tell them the truth. You have a decision to make. It's pacing and leading. If you've done a webinar, you've done a sales pitch, you've done a long form, you're doing a talking headshot. And you're just saying, you have a decision to make. And then you say why your decision is the best decision. If I was pitching an NLP course, right? I believe this is the best course on NLP ever. Hopefully I do. That's why I'm selling it. Here's why. And then you give some of your unique selling propositions, right? I would say it's the best available today with new material, research, and my big selling thing is 30 years of practical experience, right? I mean, real live clients, not just thinking about it. I also put in the sales pitch of bring your issues and get them resolved while you're at the training. If you don't have this course, you stay stuck, right? And you can get started at home. and I always close with, it's an easy decision, right? And I think that's it's an open one. It's an easy decision. If they're leaning your way, they're going to lean your way. If they're not leaning your way, that's fine too. At least, do it, or get off the pot, as they say, right? And then you have to have offers that offer contrast, and they need to be clear and open. Now, for most people, you need to appeal to three things: a higher calling, purpose, passion, mission, serving the universe, helping the planet, whatever it is. And then at the same time, that's at one level. Somewhere in there, you need to appeal to greed and to vanity, right? And if you can do all three, now you got them cooking, right? Because some people will be more consciously, they'll like the higher calling, but subconsciously, they may go to the greed or it could be reversed. They're more into this, but they're also into that. If you hit all three, because this is how people are motivated, you've got a real winner, right? And then you give them a bonus. You see it big on the internet. Don't make fun of it. It works. Save $3,000, whatever it is. And here's one that kind of combines everything we have. Save $3,000. That's greed. One-time offer to jumpstart your change efforts. That's interesting, right? I want to help people shape the field of NLP, and we need people at the cutting edge ready to take it there. That's a higher calling, right? And join a group of high achievers. That's vanity, right? So I'm trying to hit all three in that little sales pitch, right? And then let them see the choices and make sure they have clear advantages. An example, if I was my NLP and Technology 2015, without it, you stay stuck. You don't get true mastery, no elite skills, no mentoring, no outside help. Those are just facts, right? With it, if you come to my like NLP 2015, you'll get true mastery. You'll get true growth. You'll get unstuck. You'll get personal growth. You'll get rapid breakthroughs. You'll get personal mentoring. You'll have role models, not just myself if I'm teaching it, and the co-trainers, all the people in the room. Because the people that come to this are high achievers, and it'll be a lot of fun. Now, when you do this, you always make sure that your with is at least one or two more than your without, right? So, and then you have to have an appeal with a command. Call or email today. Don't hesitate. Space is limited. And, you could be cynical and say, yes, space is limited to how many I sell. But many times, if you're offering something live, space is limited. You've booked a room that holds, 25 theater style or classroom style. You might be able to fit, if you took the tables out, a few more. But space may be limited, right? Give them some kind of special. I always say like a personal coaching special. So, you're making an appeal, but it's also a command. Call or email today. Don't hesitate. Space is limited. Because you'll also get a personal coaching special. Time limited, right? One day I'll do the persuasion things, and we'll throw those in with this, right? But it's true. Time is limited. Sign up now and start your road to mastery. Join me on this wonderful journey. Hopefully they've created rapport with you on whatever it is you're selling, and you're asking them to join you. And then, again, a higher calling. Let's shape the world of NLP together, right? I will offer, here's what I would offer, like NLP and Technology. It's a special. We'll go over a website of your choice and show you where and how to add NLP into your technology, especially in your, how to add it, maybe add a video, maybe, spice up your text. Certain words you could highlight, change the font, that when you're just reading it, maybe you don't notice it that much, but your subconscious would, right? I'll give you personal coaching on NLP, and it'll be specific to your needs. Maybe you want general, maybe you want more NLP technology side, right? And usually my coaching for 4 sessions is $9.95. I'm going to do a special, this is true, it's $4.95. If you go to www.drwillhorton.com/coaching, you'll see the special. That's www.drwillhorton.com/COCHING. drwillhorton.com coaching, right? So that's how I would put all of this together to have some fun with it. I just wanted to throw a little bit of something out there because people are always asking about NLP and technology. Can you incorporate it? Yes. The trick is to just begin to do it and have some fun with it. This is just a fun, fast, quick webinar. I'm glad everyone was on the call. We had some fun with it. And I'd like to thank you all for being here. And I wish you well as we go into the